Hello students, I am Mr. Rohan Chaugule and today we are going to study the overview of C programming. So without wasting much time, let's start with the history and importance of C programming. As we know, today in market, different modern languages are there, different modern programming languages are there. But the root of all modern languages is Algol, and that Algol programming language was introduced in 1960. After Algol, the basic combined programming language was developed in 1967 by Martin Richards. Whereas after the development of basic combined programming language in 1970, Ken Thompson developed a programming language which is called as B programming language. And in 1972, by extracting or by the using of all the features of Algol, BCPL and B programming language, Dennis Ritchie developed one programming language and it is called as C programming language. So in short, C programming language is invented by Dennis Ritchie in 1972 in AT&T Bell Laboratories. Okay. So though the C programming language was developed in 1972, but still it is very popular one, and this is only because of its qualities. The qualities are nothing but it is a set it is rich in set of inbuilt functions and operators. So it has inbuilt functions and inbuilt operators. So because of this it is very popular one. Apart from this, again n number of qualities are there. So we'll see that qualities and importance of C one by one. The first one, that is C, is called as middle level programming language. Now why C is called as middle level programming language? Basically in programming language three levels are there: low level, middle level and high level programming language. This C programming language extracts the features of assembly language and high level language. That is, it combines the capabilities of assembly language and features of high level language. That's why it is called as middle level language. So here I have written over here, it combines the best elements of high level language with the control and flexibility of assembly language. So because of this, C programming language is called as middle level language. As we know, the high level programming language supports the concept of data types. So what is meant by data types? So simple, data type is nothing but it is a set of values that can be stored in a variable and can be used to perform different operation on that variable. So simple, just remember that data type, it is nothing but it is a set of values that can be used to store in a variable. So this is a simple data types. So basically in C programming, three data types are there, that is integer, character and floating point data type. So because of this variety of data types available in C programming and with the help of powerful operators, the program written in C are efficient and fast. So this is one of the feature or importance of C programming language. Next quality is that is C is a structured programming language. Okay, so as we have functions in C programming language, due to this function concept, this programming language becomes structured programming language, and due to this structured programming language, debugging, testing and maintenance become easy. So this is a quality of C programming language. Next we have, that is C is highly portable. So what is meant by highly portable? Now suppose you have written one C program in one computer, and now suppose you want to run that program on another computer or another system. So just you have to copy that program from one computer to another computer, and without changes or with the minor changes you can execute that program on that another computer. So this is nothing but portability. You can type or you can develop code in one PC and you can execute the same code on another PC. This is nothing but portability. So C is highly portable language. Again, it has ability to extend itself. So what is meant by ability to extend itself, or what is the importance, or what is the use of this? So as we know that it has ability to extend itself. A C program is basically, it is a collection of inbuilt functions. It has inbuilt function. Along with that inbuilt function, we can also add our own functions in C library. And due to this availability of large number of functions, programming tasks become easy. So this is a one more importance or quality of C programming language. Another thing we have is that in C there are 32 keywords. So what is mean by keywords? Keyword is nothing but it is a reserved word. The meaning of these words is already defined by the compiler, or these are predefined words. So here we have 32 keywords. Here I have shown the 32 keywords, that is auto, break, case, character and so on till while. So total 32 keywords are there. Okay. So this is about the history and importance of C programming language. So after studying the C programming language, when you start writing the code or when you start writing the program, then the computer language is there. That computer language defines the nature of program only, and it do not define the way the program will execute. So when you write program, after writing program you have to execute that. So the computer language won't so the computer language do not define the way program will execute. So there are two general methods to execute the program. So what are that methods to execute the program? So first one, you can either compile your program or either interpret your program. So program written in any computer language can be compiled or interpreted. So there are different language which are used to compile, which uses compiler, and some uses interpreter. So for example, we have Java programming language. The Java programming language was designed to be interpreted, whereas C programming language was designed to be compiled. Then what is difference between compiler and interpreter, or how compiler and interpreter works? Let's see one by one. So interpreter. Okay. So suppose you have written one code of 10 lines, and now you have to execute that. To execute that with the help of interpreter, suppose you have to execute that with the help of interpreter. So when you start executing the same program, what interpreter does? Interpreter reads the source code line by line. That is, it reads one line at a time. It reads that line at a time. Then after reading, it gives the errors if any. Then you have to solve that error. So if no error is not there, then it will move towards the next line. If errors are there, then you have to solve that error. After solving that error, it will move towards the next line. So this way interpreter works. So as I said, Java is used, as I said in the previous slide, the Java was designed to be interpreted. So in a Java language, program source code is first converted into intermediary form, and then it is interpreted. So source code is converted into intermediary form, and then it is interpreted in case of Java. So due to this line by line execution of the interpreter, the interpreted programs runs slower as compared with the compiled program. So this is one drawback of interpreter, that it runs slower as compared with the compiled program. So this is about the interpreter. Then next one is compiler. As we know, interpreter reads code line by line, whereas the compiler reads the entire program at a time and it converts it into object code. So what is object code? So object code is nothing but it is referred as a binary code or machine code. This binary code and machine code is understood by the computer only. So once the source code is get converted into binary code or machine code, computer can execute that code directly. It computer won't execute the source code. It executes only the object code or binary code or machine code. So here I have written, once the program is compiled, a line of source code is no longer meaningful in the execution of your program. So once you compile, as source code is get converted into machine level language or object code or binary code, compiler uses that object code for further execution. It won't use this source code again. So it is of no use once you compile your program. So due to this, the compiled program runs faster than the interpreted program. Okay, so these are the basic difference between interpreter and compiler. That is, interpreter executes the program line by line, whereas compiler reads the or executes the entire program at a time and it convert into the object code. Okay, so again, program interpreted are slower as compared with the program compiled. So these are the basic difference between the compiler and interpreter. So hope you understand the basic concept or basic difference between compiler and interpreter. Okay, so as you know, there are 32 keywords are present in C, but if you try to write the program with the help of keywords, we cannot do the operations with the help of keywords only. Okay, so here I have written, C do not provide keywords that perform different operations. So to perform different operations, we require some inbuilt functions or some user defined functions. So in C, there is a standard library available, and in that standard library n number of functions are available. So we have to use that functions according to our requirement. So suppose if mathematical related operations we have to perform, then we have to use the mathematical functions, or some string related operations we have to perform, then we have to use string related functions, and these functions are available in C's standard library. So C compiler whatever C compiler we are having, that C compiler comes with a standard library of functions. That standard C specifies the minimal set of functions, and that will be supported by the compiler. Whatever standards library of C is having, it has some functions, and these functions are supported by the compiler. With that standard functions, compiler also contains some another functions, and it also support that. Okay, so this is about the library. So library is nothing but so library contains the n number of inbuilt functions. Okay, and when we execute program, as per requirement, we have to extract that function from library, or we have to link that functions with our code. So when you call library functions, while writing program, when you call the library function, what C compiler does, C compiler just remember the name of that function, that inbuilt function. It remember the name of that function, and later linker combines the code you wrote with the object code already found in the standard library. That is, for when you call a standard library function, what compiler does, it remember the name which you have called, and later linker combines the source code you have written with the function you have called. So this process is nothing but linking process. Okay, so here is the one definition for linking. That is, okay, you have to write this whole definition. when you call a library function, the C compiler remember its name. Later, linker combine the code you wrote with the object code already found in the standard library, and this process is called as linking process. Okay, so this is about the simple linking process. So some compiler have their own linker, while other uses standard linker supplied by your operating system. So this is about the library and linking system. So it just link your source code with the library function or inbuilt function. This is nothing but linking process. So this is about the library and linking. Now after understanding this, now suppose we'll start with the one simple program. But how to write program in C? So we have one standard form or one general form of C programming. So if we look over here, the first part or first section is nothing but it is a global declaration section. So what this global declaration section does, or what we have to write in this global declaration section. So in this we have to write the global variables. In C, before using anything we have to declare that. So before using global variable, we have to declare that global variable in this global declaration section. Also we can include the header files from standard library in this global declaration section. Then after this global declaration section, we have one main function. Function in C, at least one function should be there, and that one function is nothing but this main function. So this is a standard syntax written over here: int main, and in opening closing round bracket we have to write the parameters. So this int is nothing but it is a return type of this main function. Suppose this main function is returning some value, accordingly we have to write this return type of the main. Suppose your main function is returning integer value, then you can write int over here. Okay, so if your main function is returning character value, then you can write character as a return type of this main function. And if your function is returning nothing, then you can write void over here. Instead of int, you can write void. When you can write void, when your function returns nothing. Again, in this round bracket, we have, as I said, we have to write parameter list in round bracket. This parameter list is again optional. If parameters are there, then you can write the parameters, else you can keep it blank as blank. Then after this, one opening and closing bracket is there, and in that opening closing bracket we have to write the statements. So which statements we can write? The statements we have to execute under this code, that we have to write in main section. So these are the simple about the main function. So similar to main function, we can write n number of function in a single program. So this is another function f1 with the, so first we have to write the return type of that function f1. So you can write name may be anything. Here I have taken the name f1. You can take your name as a function name also. So first you have to write the return type of that function. This return type is depend on the returning value. So if your function is returning nothing, we have to write void over here. If your function returning integer, then we have to write int over here. Then we have to write the function name, and then in opening closing bracket we have to write the parameter list if any. Okay, then again same, in opening closing curly bracket we have to write the statement which are to be executed under this function. Okay, similarly we can write n number of function in a same program. So this is a general form of C programming. So first section is global declaration section, where we can declare global variables, and also we can include the header files in this global declaration section. Then we have to write the main function. If your function returning integer value, then you can write int as a return type of this main function, else if your function is returning character, then you can write character as a return type. If your function returning nothing, then you can write void as a return type of this main function. Again, in opening closing round bracket, you have to write the parameters. If parameters are there, then you have to write, else we can keep the opening closing round bracket blank, and then we have to write the statements in opening closing curly bracket only. Okay, so in similar way we can write n number of functions. Okay, so this is a general form of C program. Now let's see one simple